Hello, everyone. It's me, Mrs. Gronert, and today we're talking about story elements again. One of my favorite ways to show what we know about story elements is to make a story map. Our story map today is going to help us with the setting and the plot of the story. And we're going to be making a story map for the story Little Red Butterfly and the Big Bad Spider. Let's take a look. When we think about the setting, we have to think about where the story happens. What are all of the places in the story? Do you remember? Let's look at the text to help us remember what all the places are in the story. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have Little Red Butterfly at her house, right? Then she goes on the forest path. After that, oh, she's still on the forest path. She's there for a while with that bad spider. Oh, and then she picks those flowers. Look at all the flowers along the path. After that, she goes to grandmother's house. Hmm. There's grandmother's greenhouse. And else is in the story? Let's see. There's a beehive. That's right, because the bees live right outside of grandmother's house. Okay, do you remember all of those places? Okay, let's see. When we make our story map, make sure to include Little Red's house, grandmother's house, the path through the forest, the flowers, and the beehive. So you're going to draw a picture of all of those places. You're going to want to stretch it out on your page so that Little Red's house is on one side of your page and grandmother's house might be all the way down at the bottom. So if I'm going to start, I want to have here's Little Red's house, right? It's not a very pretty house. I know you can make yours nicer. And then grandmother's house might be all the way over on the other side of the forest. I need to make sure I include a path through the forest. La, 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 la. Here's a path going through the forest. It kind of winds around. I'll have to include trees in the forest, won't I? Lots of trees in the forest, not just one tree, of course, that would be silly. And oh, I need to make sure I have all of those flowers where Little Red stops to pick flowers. And I could even mark where she meets the spider. And I need the beehive in a tree, right? Here's the beehive where the bees are in a tree outside of grandmother's house, right? But how did the spider get to grandmother's? He didn't stay on the path. No, he went straight to grandmother's. Look at that, a different route. Now, this story map is not very pretty. I want you to make yours beautiful, but don't forget to include any of those important parts. Now, you can use your story map to retell the plot of the story. Remember, the plot is what happens in the story or the events or actions in the story. How do you do that? Well, your job is to take your finished story map with all of the setting and tell me about it. Record your voice retelling the story of Little Red Butterfly and the Big Bad Spider. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful butterfly. Don't forget any of the important events in the story. I can't wait to see your finished story map and hear you retell the story. I hope you have fun.